Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, doing a deck interview with, where did I put the box? Here it is. The Guardian of the Night Tarot by MJCULLINANE. And yeah, I'm really curious to see how it reads. So there's a book that comes with this deck as part of the purchase of the deck, but it's actually being sent separately. And I don't have it yet, but I decided I was going to forge ahead and do a deck interview and just see how this will read without the guidebook. I still want the guidebook because I'm curious how she's going to, what take she has on some of the cards. But number one, this is going to be six card deck interview. How would you describe yourself? Oh, and there's the Page of Pentacles, which I split the deck and got the Page of Pentacles right at the very end of walking through and then shuffling the deck. Huh. Yeah, that's just a curious card. So this Page of Pentacles, so if I think of an octopus, I think of something that's very tactile. So maybe that's what it's saying. It feels good. It was easy to shuffle. Maybe that's what it's, because that's what I think of octopus, that you know it by feeling. It knows it, and it, that's how it gets its information, is by feeling things for the most part. Feeling, using those tentacles to feel all around. So maybe it's talking about this, seeing itself as very tactile. Or maybe as it has a very smooth, it's a very smooth, and it's a floaty, slippery sort of a deck. So maybe that's just what, it's slippery and slimy. That's what it's describing itself as. I don't know, maybe it's just talking about it being a tactile deck. But I feel like it's getting to know, that maybe it needs to get to know me. It's the kind of deck that needs some time to get to know me, or it needs time to get to know a certain type of reading, so that it's not, you know, it's not a Knight of Wands kind of a deck. It's a Page of Pentacles, octopusy sort of a deck. So there it is. That is what the deck, how the deck describes itself. It could also say that it mean that it has a lot of reach as an octopus. That it's a multitasker or multifaceted with all of those tentacles. Tentacles, pentacles. I hadn't thought of that. Maybe that was part of, maybe that's an inside joke there. Number two, what is the deck's opinion of me? Two of Swords. Maybe that's what this frog is supposed to represent, is when you're on the fence about something. So the frog is on the fence. Can't decide one way or the other. So the deck's accusing me of being indecisive. Being on the fence or on the sword. I see it also as accusing me, because I see this as water down here. Other people might see it differently. You could potentially see this as ice, given the color that it is, and these, so, you know, reinforcing the idea of stuckness. But since we have a frog here, my assumption would more be that it's water. so the deck kind of accusing me of not allowing myself to feel my emotions, but staying up on the fence, staying in a kind of colder, more rigid way of thinking. And I wouldn't necessarily deny that. It's saying, stop thinking about me, feel me, feel me. Number 3, what is one thing you ask of me? Goodness. 5 of Cups, we have the Death's Head Moth. It's interesting here that you've got 2 fireflies going into the 2 glasses that are still upright. This is just interesting. I'm not 100% sure what it's getting at. Now, it can just be telling me to leave behind, moths go toward the light. It could be saying, leave behind your sorrows and just go to the light. It could easily be saying that that's what it's asking of me. We'll have to see what it says when we get down to what readings do you enjoy the most, because I almost felt like a lot of times with this particular question, what comes up is the deck asking me to relate to it in a certain way, like to give it a chance or something like that, kind of like what I was getting from this. And so I was kind of looking at it thinking, how is it wanting me maybe to perceive it, or what is it wanting me to do? And with this 5 of Cups coming up, it's almost like it's wanting me, I'm thinking it's wanting me to do readings for people that are particularly, saddened at a certain point, or maybe grieving or something like that. So, interesting. All right, how will you challenge me? How will the deck challenge me? The Knight of Cups. So maybe it's not a deck to use for love readings. This is just a beautiful card. I'm just gazing at the card. Forget whether it's the Knight of Cups or not. Just a beautiful card. Next. And I wouldn't expect this to be a deck that I would pick up for a love reading anyway. So maybe kind of along with this, it's saying to rise above the emotions. I'm not sure. But if I have to be challenged by something, being challenged by the King of Cups hardly strikes me as a bad thing. What is the potential outcome of our time together? So this is kind of like, how will we get along? The Star. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful relationship. And or, a lot of people will see this and or my walkthrough, and it will make the deck into a star. It is just a beautiful deck. All right. Last question, what readings do you enjoy the most? So what readings does the deck enjoy the most, or what does it want to do? And here we have the 3 of Wands. So to me that would kind of be adventure. Are these, I'm wanting to say flycatcher, but I can't. I'm not 100% sure I've got that right. Some kind of spring blossom it looks like going on there. I don't know if those are cherry blossoms or what they are. But I think it just kind of holds the traditional, you've got two mountain ranges, the bird is flying forward, kind of the traditional meaning of the Three of Wands, and that you're going on a journey. So journey readings, that wouldn't strike me as quite right, but I don't know. That'll be another curious thing about getting the book, is to better understand why is it named Guardian of the Night. Not all of the animals in here were necessarily nocturnal. The color palette might be referring to that. And a lot of the animals I wouldn't think of necessarily as guardians. So I would take this as, what readings do you enjoy the most? Is trying to decide whether or not to do something, which is a lot of the reason why I get out decks. Should I do this? Should I do that? Not necessarily comparing two things, but whether something is a good idea or not a good idea. I'm very used to relying on the Centennial Smith-Waite for that. My little deck in a tin. But maybe this will be a deck to take out and use for that sort of reading, so more often. I can definitely see myself using this more than I use the Wise Dog, which is partly just my hang-up, thinking of the Wise Dog as sort of a novelty kind of a deck, which isn't fair to it, really. Yeah. So there it is. Beautiful. It's kind of like both earthy and cosmic at the same time, this deck. Both earthy and cosmic. Grounded and mystical, both at the same time. I'm really glad that I did this, and I ordered this deck before I realized that I was going to have a job implosion problem, and I'm still glad I did. I'm glad I did. All right, everybody, take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.